A controversial call really turned Game 5 here at TD Garden. I'm Meghan Ottolini, the Boston Herald, and I'm here with Boston Herald sports editor Justin Pelletier. So we're going to talk about that missed call on Zdeno Chara, but I want to start out by talking about what happened here in the first period. You know, the Bruins came out with so much energy, so much heart. This whole building was just radiating with love and pride for Zdeno Chara.
Oh, it was unreal. To see Chara come onto the ice, skate out with his bubble helmet, the place went absolutely nuts. We had the introductions to the players. He got the loudest and the most sustained that we've seen all series long. And the Bruins came out like a house of fire. They had 17 shots in the first period to only 8 for St. Louis, and unfortunately they weren't able to beat Jordan Binnington. It seemed like the intensity was there from the Blues, and the Bruins spent all that energy in the first period trying to keep up with that banging style that the Blues have become now so famous for, and then they just weren't able to match them. And quite honestly, those first two lines that the Bruins have not shown up in this entire series, and that was the case again here tonight. And through the second period, I think they were out hustled.
Extremely quiet, but let's turn and talk about that missed call with Zdeno Chara. What happened there?
Well, the Bruins player, Chara, was making a play on the puck, and the Blues player came from behind. I believe it was Tyler Bozak, came from behind and tripped him with his leg. The officials didn't see it, so they didn't call a penalty, or if they did see it, they judged that it wasn't a penalty, and the play was allowed to continue. The puck slid over to David Perron, and David Perron was able to beat Tuukka Rask, and that started a whole litany of things being thrown, unfortunately, from the stands here at the Garden onto the ice.
Well, we talked to Rask and Patrice Bergeron after the game in the locker room about that call, and here's what they had to say.
You know, I mean, things happen quick. It doesn't help to complain it about afterwards, but, you know, I mean, it sucks that it was kind of a deciding play of the game.
I think we all had the same opinion about it. You know, I think I don't need to expand more than just it is what it is, you know.
So, Justin, moving on to Game 6, going back to St. Louis on Sunday, what can the Bruins do? You talk to them in the locker room, and they still sound pretty confident, but you have to think that they didn't expect to be in this position.
No,
after Game 1.
No, absolutely not. You know, it's you certainly thought, and especially after Game 3, where they blew the Blues out of the water in St. Louis, right? So you're going back to a building where you've won a game 7-2 in these playoffs, and so you've got to have a measure of confidence. And if you're the Bruins, you have to have that measure of confidence because you're in the Stanley Cup final. You got here, you've got to start playing like you did to get you here. So going to St. Louis, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to really showcase that skill and that speed that St. Louis in the games that the Bruins have won has not been able to keep up with. I think that's what they're going to have to do coming up Sunday in St. Louis.
Do you think by having this series be so physical that they're playing into the Blues' hands a little bit?
I think they're almost trying to match the Blues' physicality, and I don't think that that's their game. They can sustain physicality, and they can do what the Blues are doing, but it takes them away from what they're best at, which is the speed and the skill game, and the Bruins really need to find that if they're going to win in Game 6.
Well, an inspiring performance with Chara coming out here, but not the result that Bruins fans wanted. Game 6, again, is back in St. Louis on Sunday. Till then, thanks for joining me, Justin.
Of course.